Okay, so here's the deal. He's an HBO special called The History of White People in America, and Mark Mullen, Fred Willard. I was looking that up and it's on. Okay, so here's the deal. Shadow. Goodness gracious. Shadow just walked in to the chat today, just dropped a bomb in the middle of my brain, and then walked away. So the dude that he's talking about, MC Bat Commander, also known as Christian Jacobs, also known as co-creator of Yo Gabba Gabba, also known as lead singer of the fucking Aquabats, was in a movie we did and I did not know. It's a Wonderful Party played a dumb white kid that didn't understand what reggae was. I'm this blows my mind. This dude, the lead singer of the Aquabats, was in one of the movies we watched, and I did not know. I don't even love the Aquabats. I just love the ridiculousness of the Aquabats. And I appreciate the absolute... Oh my... Like, are you... That's impossible. I just double-checked it myself, and you are right. But... Holy shit, man. And he retired from acting in the early 1990s. He was a kid star. What? This, like, now I'm just looking at the dude's Wikipedia page. And since... Oh my lord. And since he is a co-creator of Yo Gabba Gabba, he's got to be rich beyond all measure. And he still does the Aquabats. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. And Shadow just posted a clip.
Tommy, what would you rather be? An astronaut or a bass player in a reggae band?
What's reggae?
Excellent. I think we're making some headway.
Okay. Pretty funny. Wow. I was just trying to play some PowerWash Simulator this evening. And I got a little history lesson into the world of the lead singer of Aquabats. Thank you so much for doing that, Shadow. That was next level. I'm kind of bummed I did not know that before that movie was on the stream, because I would have been celebrating beyond all reason the fact that the lead singer of the Aquabats made it into a movie that we watched on here. Because say what you want about the Aquabats, you know, you have to, in my opinion, you have to appreciate the commitment to the bit of the Aquabats. The fact that very famous people have been in the Aquabats or participated with the Aquabats over the years. Like, I feel like you have to give them their credit. Anyway, we're back to PowerWash Simulator. Why? Because it makes us feel good. Yeah, I mean, I just looked at the Wikipedia page, and I guess the dude was in a bunch of shit as a child actor, and then retired in 1991, basically saying, "I don't like how competitive the business is," you know. And it's like, who could blame him? Sitting there trying to beat out other kids. He also apparently in a Mormon family. Which, you know. Prediction 2, hoverboards. No other words need to be spoken. And I don't want to, you know, make fun of anyone's beliefs, but I'm not a big fan of Mormon theology. I'm a fan of Mormon commitment. I will say that. I think it takes balls to go on a mission, especially like the United States, where you know you're just going to get your face slammed in with some doors. Skating feels like a fad already. That's right, I forgot about the production assistant, who's just constantly talking to me about Back to the Future. And it's like, I don't need you to talk to me about Back to the Future. Let me clean the sets. Game sound is a bit loud. I'm always going to the wrong section. I want to make sure it's still hearable in the event that folks leave and whatnot, because I believe the sound is part of the therapy. Like the sound of waves breaking. It just massages the mind. Let me know if that's too loud. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. I would have made the whole stream about that, Shadow. Had I known that the lead singer of the Aquabats was in Second Sight: A Love Story. Even though he's barely in the thing, I would have been like, yeah. And you only figured that out looking up the special. So what are we spraying aggressively with our host today? We are spraying part of the set of Back to the Future 2. I sprayed down that part of the set of Back to the Future 1 a while ago. Also sprayed down the DeLorean. And also, hi Felix. Hopefully you've not indulged in some illegal drugs to be a part of the stream today. At least I hope not. Not officially, anyway. Kirk Has Glasses does not officially condone the use of illegal drugs to attend streams. Not illegal ones. Well, that's the thing. The Bioshock 1, it would be real dirty. I would buy that DLC in a heartbeat. There is no question. But also, It would also be super dirty. Oh my gosh, that's actually a great idea. Someone talk to the people of PowerWash Simulator and tell them to talk to, was it Take-Two? And that's fair. Even though we haven't really encountered that issue when playing the game so far. I've wasted ungodly amounts of water in this world. Pretty sure my water bill would be next level. Curb's clean. Oh my gosh. Now I just really want a BioShock. I love this game. I guess there's Resident Evil 7 levels of PowerWash Simulator, which I guess is a popular game. But people won't stop shutting up about frickin' Final Fantasy 7. There could be BioShock levels. Clean up Rapture. Apollo Square. Clean up, oh, the Welcome Center. Oh my gosh. I'm just thinking about all the levels in BioShock now. That would be so much fun to clean up. Oh my gosh, do some cleanup of okay. I'm curious, where is the dirt on the sign? Not a fan of Final Fantasy VII. I've never played it. And I think enough time has passed that, like, I don't have the patience for it. I see you now. Like, because no, it is a game that I'm sure is fantastic. I'm sure it's fun. I'm sure people love it for a reason. But I don't think I have the time to really dig into it like someone who really loves that game does. Now, Jaws 19, I wonder if this one has voodoo. It has 3D sharks that come out at you, according to, well, I think Jaws 3 had that too. But, they were holographic sharks in Back to the Future too. Man, I remember when I was young, that part of Back to the Future 2 used to really scare me, and then I, slowly matured into adulthood, and obviously now I'm a big, strong, manly man, and now I'm like, what was I even scared of? I feel the same way with, like, horror movies. I used to be so freaked out about horror movies. And now it's more of, like, let's see how this one's fun. I miss being scared by horror movies. What was more intriguing? I'll be honest, I don't miss being scared by horror movies. I like that now I am well over it. Like, I remember watching recently, I finally watched The Exorcist. And The Exorcist was one of those movies that, like, it was talked up so much, I think by my dad. Because he's like, I remember seeing that in theaters, man. It was next level, and he really freaked me out. And then when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, I have to remember the era in which this was made. Like, nowadays, horror movies are all shock value and crazy ideas, crazy stories. If you're into Saw, it's about engineering. About a very elaborate game of Mousetrap. Prediction 3, Jaws 19. Oh. So glad. Alex, the production assistant, is the worst character in any video game, in my opinion. Just talking to me about Back to the Future, and it's like, I already know everything you're gonna say. The word Cox was illegal in movies until The Exorcist came out. And also, there's something, I think what kind of shook me out of horror movies was, well, two things. One, I really wanted to see Jordan Peele's movies. From trailers, I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, who doesn't want to watch a shark movie? There's so much story there. God, Alex, the production assistant. I just don't want to listen to you. Like, my desire to see what Jordan Peele makes was like, well, you just got to get over it so you can watch it. And then I think Hereditary, like, broke my mind in, like, 10 things you never knew about the Back to the Future. It's no longer Twin Pines Mall. Like and subscribe. Click the bell. Oh my gosh, have you ever watched... There's like a 35 to 45 minute video that is just someone explaining why Back to the Future predicted 9/11. It is a hilarious use of your time and a very hilarious watch. Because this dude is claiming that all these crazy things in Back to the Future is telling America that 9/11 is going to happen, and yet the dude making it cannot tell the difference between Back to the Future 1 and 2. And it's like, dude, obviously not well enough research if you don't even know what movie you're talking about. Get it together, you tinfoil hat crazy person. Anyway. Doc Brown's name is Emmett. But yes, I think Hereditary kind of broke my mind because it wasn't even scary, it was just so depressing and there was so much dread. And then it ends with this really, really dark, like, horror ending. And I just remember I was like, I don't want to do anything. Did he claim that? No, he did not do that. It's way more, it's more Illuminati based and has a lot to do with JFK. A lot of JFK shit. And a lot of pulling stuff that you're like, where you're like, okay, that is an interesting coincidence. What else do you got? And then he starts talking about, like, the Page Master, and you're like, what does the Page Master have to do with this? It's like, Robert Zemeckis made both Back to the Future and Page Master. And you're like, okay. It's, I don't know, it's super funny. But Spielberg is, I believe, a Jewish man. But I do recommend that video if you have 40 minutes of free time and you want to just grab some popcorn and listen to the ravings of a madman. Hereditary was overwhelming. Yeah. Yeah, it hits, man. I also went in, like, super unsure about that movie because of, like, the Twitter reviews even were like, every time I checked on Twitter, just the hashtag Hereditary, it was someone saying this is the greatest piece of horror cinema in the last 20 years, and then right next to it would be somebody else who is not like, how do you say this? They're not like just a Twitter troll. Like, it wasn't somebody who was just like, Avengers good, everything else bad, Spider-Man 2 should have won Game of the Year. Not like one of those guys. It was just a dude who has different opinions say, like, Hereditary was bad. It was long, it was boring, and it had no point. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Well, what is it? What is this movie? And then I watched it, and I was like, oh, it's Despair. It's Despair, the movie. Page Master, the Culking Whoopi Patrick Stewart cartoon, terrorism, what? It's such a funny video. It is such a funny video. At one point he says the phrase, this film is crawling with 9/11s. As if they're like 9/11s are a creature that can infect your movie. But yeah. Just a dude claiming that Back to the Future predicts 9/11. And again, it's not someone saying, hey, by the way, on this date this is going to happen. It's a very abstract interpretation of something that leads to the idea that maybe something associated with the numbers 9 and 11 are going to happen. Because those videos never have like a character like looking straight to camera. This is going to happen on September 11, 2001. It's always like, if you look at this, and then you shift your perspective, it looks like a 9 and 2 1s. And you're like, uh-huh. That is just the numbers 9 and 11. You don't find it stressful watching people be so dumb? It depends on what it is. Because that video, I don't think he's harming anything by saying those dumb things about a movie. If it's somebody, you know, on a campaign trail, it's a little more stressful. If you catch my meaning. Then it's a different kind of feeling. But when it's just a dude going like the guys that say that the movie Angels in the Outfield is about pedophilia, like those guys, where you're just like, what, dude? What, dude? What, dude? What? Come on. But I mean, I do the same shit, just with different movies and very different things. Like, what videos are you watching? I haven't even seen that video. I've like heard it from other comedians. I'm not a comedian. I've heard it from comedians talking about like crazy conspiracy theories. Where there's like, yeah, there's guys that truly believe that Angels in the Outfield is really about pedophilia, and it's like, and like they don't really get into it too much because they forgot the details of the video, but just how convinced some people are that that's what this movie about literal angels helping out a baseball team is about. But like, my theories are like, my theories, like my the things that I pick up in movies are about just much less interesting topics. Uh-oh, I have to allow what you wrote. A girl's choked on a hot dog. The pedo stuff is on you. But yeah, dude. Um that seems more likely. It does seem more likely. Oh man, I'm not getting those dings. Not getting the dings. Some people live for the dings. I'm getting more self-conscious. My messages have been getting flagged a lot. Well, I mean, the auto modder is just trying to make sure that no one's like bullying anybody. And it's like, you know, all it sees is the words, doesn't understand the context. In the process of like doing the stream and worrying about what is and is not allowed, it's just a bummer because I truly think there are plenty of people that say things that you would that most people would say is just way out of line, but they mean absolutely no harm, and what they're saying might be important. Just this way to learn and grow from each other. Whereas there are people that say absolutely terrible things, but they use the right words. We're gonna get I feel like we're gonna get a 99 situation brewing here. Movie poster. There we go. No. Son of a biscuit. Balls. Okay. The alley ledge. What is the frickin' alley ledge? You son of a biscuit. How can biscuits procreate? I mean, what about, what's his name? The Pillsbury Doughboy. We want to believe that dude isn't, you know, cracking out kids. That's one of the frickin' arches. I'm also still wearing the Christmas gear. I should probably get out of that. Nothing Christmassy about Back to the Future. Entry pillar. Entry pillar. Looking for an entry pillar. What in the H? The fire hydrant's not clean. Okay, inner arch keystones. What are inner arch? You son of a biscuit. And now, inner arch keystones. Arch keystones. Really? I missed this guy? For reals. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Nice. And now we have the time train from Back to the Future motherfucking 3. Thanks for filling us in again. We're wrapping up the third and final, and we do mean final film now. Boy, scheduling getting tight. Went back to the Wild Wild West, and this natural means we got a time traveling steam locomotive. How's right those timelines? But the time train looks like it's been driven through a rainbow. Don't know if any to do with some multicolored logs that were used in an earlier scene to get Old West trained up to 88 miles per hour. Regardless, we need it clean for our next shot. I will leave you to it. You know what you're doing. And thanks a lot. Oh, Back to the Future. I feel like a rewatch is in order of Back to the Future. First off, we have to get out of the festive clothing. Let's get back in our usual gear. Black and orange. Halloween special. Oh my gosh, this is cool. Holy shit. Looks like it's going to be our last job together. It's the final scene of the entire trilogy. Oh, I remember. It's not Halloween either. No, but I like the colors. Felix, I'm a fan of the orange and the black. I've been for quite some time. I remember exactly how this train looked. And I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just suspicious of the back of this thing already. First off, it looks like it's got quite an ass on it. This time train is looking thick with 2 C's, as the kids say. Because I'm down with the kids as I play Back to the Future DLC for PowerWash Simulator. There's one thing I know. It's keeping up with the kids. They have made a special edition. Well, they've made 2 editions of the DeLorean for Lego. I want them to make the train. I want them to make the train with the characters in their Back to the Future 3 costumes, and I want to own it. That's what I would like. I don't think they will do it, but, you know, one can dream. They are making a 28th version of the Millennium Falcon, so maybe, just maybe. We just have to hope that Disney doesn't buy Universal and somehow weasel out a garbage sequel to these wonderful films. Even though we will get more Back to the Future merchandise, that's for sure. That is for sure. Realize it's kids' slang nowadays. It's just typos. Mid was supposed to be mild. Bass was supposed to be biased. So you're saying it's... What you're really saying is that it is autocorrect not saving them because what they typed was actually words. So they meant to write these other words, but because autocorrect doesn't fix words that are real. Hold on. I have to go geek out about something that I just realized. No! No! Oh, yes. I can't check out the Hill Valley sign. What about over here? What about over here? Is there anything over here? No. Well, fine. Fine. Oh, shit. Oh, wait, I don't think I've... Yeah, I don't think I've 100% anything yet. Is there a... Is there an achievement? And particle colliders. Boom. Did it. Kids rely too much on autocorrect. To be fair, that was a thing with us millennials too. Cheeseburger language was kind of built on that. Yeah, true. I mean, anybody who has personally texted me, like with the phones and the whatnot, anyone who has the ability to do that knows that I have a very fraught relationship with autocorrect. I will get in actual fights in the text message with autocorrect. I have tried to send things to people and it totally autocorrects it to a different word, and then I just get angry and start writing out my frustrations in the text about autocorrect to the person. So I think you know, I would imagine it's a little bit entertaining, but I'm also actually pretty upset by it. I'm pretty annoyed. I feel like I've cleaned a lot of this train, and it seems crazy that I haven't gotten any dings. You like go... It's a little more sarcastic and drawn out. Like, a lot of times that's right, autocorrect. That's what I wanted to say. That makes perfect sense in this sentence. And most of the time, it's not even cursing. It's just like a normal-ass word. It's just a normal-ass word that for some reason, when I went to type it in the phone was like, you know, nah, that's wrong. And you're just like, what are you talking about? And then when I go to correct the word, it'll then miscorrect it again, and I notice that it's literally changing an actual word, the word I want to say, to that word, and I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing, autocorrect? You're making me look like an idiot when I know what I wanted to say perfectly fine. ELB, baby! ELB. McFly! Nice. Oh my lordy. I just want this as a Lego set so bad. Because I already got 2 different DeLoreans. And 2 sets of Doc Brown and Marty from the first movie and the second movie. So, putting this out with versions of their characters from the third movie, it just makes sense. Makes sense from a collector's standpoint, makes sense from a money standpoint, because I'll spend the money for it. That's a day one purchase, dude. That is a day it comes out purchase. Even if I gotta wait for back orders like I did with the second DeLorean. And I think the first delivery. Bought it day of, still had a back order. I mean, I might just have never really paid attention to it, but it really looks like the back half of his train is from the film Wild Wild West, starring Will Smith and Kevin Kline and Kenneth Branagh. That's an incredibly fun thing to clean. Just go up and down as it rotates. That makes it a heck of a lot easier. Where the gentleman has something around his neck and he's being chased by a blade. Wild Wild West was a movie I watched a ton as a kid because I did not realize what made movies good yet. And I thought Wild Wild West was the shit. And no one, you know, God love my friends and family, nobody had the heart to tell me it was a terrible movie. I had to find out when I got older and rewatched it. But I think it's a fun terrible, but I completely understand if others disagree. Because boy, do they make some decisions in that movie. They made some huge swings and huge misses. Holy shit. Wild Wild West to you is Superman 3 to me. Superman 3 is funny. I had never watched the Supermans, and at one point I got all four of the... four? There's four Christopher Reeve, right? And then there's Superman Returns, which is based on that Superman, kind of. And then they started the Zack Snyder sad Supermans. He's so sad that he's the most powerful being on the planet. It really sucks. It was terrible. Look, man, it's I recommend people watch it. I think it's an amazing film that, because I think it was made by the same kind of team that did Men in Black, which I truly think is a film that holds up super well. The first Men in Black is amazing. I think it holds up very, very well. Sequels, you know, they are what they are, but that first Men in Black movie is so good. And I think it was the same people working on this Wild Wild West. And they just make some big decisions, man. They make some big decisions. They make some very big character choices. And yeah, I think you should watch it. Well, the decision to switch the races of the main character from white to black in a historical context of the West after the Civil War is an interesting decision, and therefore the villains and their issues with the main character are interesting. Oh, it's based on the legendary Sierra Railway number 3 locomotive, which is a total Hollywood legend in its own right. Thanks, Alex. I haven't even seen that movie. I haven't seen that movie because it's a childish reason. But the gentleman who wanted to make a BioShock movie with Guillermo del Toro, Gore Verbinski, he was told that the asking price for the BioShock movie was too high because who would watch a rated R video game movie was like basically the answer they were given. And then he went and made the biggest bomb right after that, which was The Lone Ranger, which I believe was like $300 million. And I'm like, okay, so let me get this straight. You'll take the chance on some IP that nobody under the age of like 60 gives a fuck about with like... And one of my favorite like interview questions about the Lone Ranger, because somebody asked Johnny Depp about like, oh wow, I guess like the Lone Ranger didn't really do that well. What do you think it was? And he said something to the effect of, well, they made us take like the werewolves out. And it's like, what are werewolves doing in the Lone Ranger, dude? What are you talking about, man? Anyway. Oh, anyway. I thought the Lone Ranger was supposed to be a white Zorro. I don't even know what the Lone Ranger is, because it came out when our grandparents were enjoying radio plays, man. Like, the idea that Disney was like, yeah, you know what IP is going to make us a ton of money? The Lone fucking Ranger. Like, nobody is going to go see that piece of shit. And you know what? I was right. But hey, $300 million right down the toilet. But once again, we can't take a chance on a rated R video game movie. Oh, by the way, what was really cleaning up all over Twitter and all over the place recently? Oh yeah, the fucking Last of Us. Which, no offense, does not have as good a story as BioShock. Especially if you do it right. But hey, what do I know? I just watch a lot of fucking movies. Their first mistake was going. You know his theme. Barely. The only two things that are connected with the Lone Ranger that I really know is the band from Airheads was called the Lone Rangers. And Silver is the name of his horse. Because in it, there was a big point made about the bike, which was like the main character's horse, so he nicknamed it Silver. Ooh, that'd be a controversial statement, I bet. Dude, The Last of Us... It's not even an original idea. There are tons of people that have said it. The Last of Us story is all of the zombie tropes thrown together in the same story. It's basically all it is. That's all it is. With a different, a different, unlikely, like bonding, and a different reason why this person is special, but it's all the same shit, man. And true, every single story is derivative of something else. Sure, I get that. But we gotta stop pretending like it's so unique. I feel like these are unnecessarily pointy. Not to get on Doc Brown for design choices, but this section of the train seems a little too pointy, a little too Tim Burton-y. They cut through time more efficiently. Fair point. Fair point. I didn't even consider. You gotta cut through that time. Anyways, what else should we talk about? What else is going on? I mean, I also really think that some streaming service should just nut up and buy the rights to Red Dead Redemption and make that TV show. I think that shit could blow Last of Us out of the water. But, you know. Who knows? Has nobody done that yet? I never played those games, and even I know they're massive story potential. Yeah, as far as I know, no one has. If they have, they've been real quiet about it. Also, I don't know, maybe Rockstar holds them. I really, really, really think that those, I think if that show was rocking right now, one, if that's the other thing, you'd have to trust it. You know what I'm saying? You'd have to give them the space to have multiple seasons. And no one wants to, take that risk, you know? Even though I think those first couple levels, they may seem boring in terms of gameplay because it's really setting up everything you'll need to know and then kind of lets you loose. I think first couple episode in the snow, really digging in with those characters, getting you connected to them for what happens the rest of that story. It'd just be next level. Especially, like, I was thinking, when you first play Red Dead Redemption 2, it starts with your gang is basically in a blizzard and they're trying to find just a place to rest. And they have injured people, some people are lost, everybody's hungry and, like, cold as hell. And Dutch gives this speech that, like, basically rouses them because they find some, like, shitty housing, which is shelter. Some kind of shelter. And then he rouses them up saying, we'll find who's missing. We're going to get us out of here. We're going to go look for supplies and maybe better shelter. Trust me, we're going to get out of this. And then you go with them to, like, a hut to ask them for help. And while Dutch is asking for help and he's spinning a good yarn, talking a good game with this dude, you notice there are other dudes getting into position, and one of your dudes spots a body in like a cart next to that hut. And he tells your character, he's like, there's a body in here, and then you look up and you see the dudes getting into position. And then they recognize Dutch, who is a criminal, and they start firing, you start firing, and just the cinematic potential of just that, and that represents like 0.5, not even that, like maybe like 0.05% of the moments of that game. It'd just be so good. So freaking good. But, like I said, and that's something that like the way the game does it, I think it's not questionable, but it is interesting when I rethink it, because the gang that you're in is like a multicultural, like a big group of like very different kinds of people, and even in the game they talk about the racism and the inequality and the really shitty treatment of certain people. And just somehow everybody in your gang is like super cool and chill, and there's never any race problems with anybody else in the gang. But the second you get out of that gang, they're the racists. And it's like, okay, I'm sure it'd be a little different with just this many people. Making a movie or show about a recent IP is too risky. Let's just reboot Blossom and Mad About You and Night Court. Holy shit. When I saw an advertisement for Night Court, and I was like, that seems like it was a while ago. I also don't know anybody that was like super into Night Court. of the age when Night Court was out. Like, oh my gosh, Night Court. Oh man. I don't even know what that is. I don't know anything about Night Court. I just know that it was old. No offense, but I just know that it was a show that was on a while ago. And just all of a sudden they're like, hey, Night Court? And I'm like, what? Dan Fielding from Night Court. Oh, man. Can't take a risk on anything. And I'll say this. I was curious about watching the Five Nights at Freddy's movie because I understand there's lore to it, but I don't want to play that like jump scare-orama game. But then when it came out and people were like, well, if you play the game and you know the game, you'll like the movie. And I'm like, but I don't want to play the game. I don't. That's not a game I would like to play. That's why I wanted to see the movie. Nothing against, like, against people that like that game. I don't want to play it. And hey, supposedly, same people or the same company who did the Super Mario game, they're going to be making a Legend of Zelda game. Huh? Huh? I'm excited about that. Legend of Zelda game. Yeah, who in the world wants to spend... Oh my gosh. The blood pressure and the... Yeah, not I. Not I. Yeah, when... I don't know how many years ago. But when it seemed like the Marvel steam was like running out and DC had kind of reserved itself to just making Batman movies and like just kind of fucking around, I was like, they're gonna start going back to the video game movie, right? Like they got to. They made some bad decisions with the IPs they went for and what they did with it. They're gonna regroup on it. They're gonna make some bold decisions, and it doesn't seem like that's the case at all. The only one was like The Last of Us, and even then it's like... The Last of Us was the Oscar bait of video games. I have no idea how you store all that water in that backpack, of course. That reminds me, I have to rewatch Willy's Wonderland. I don't know when, but I do gotta rewatch it. Maybe I was just unfair to it the first time. But I do think I just have an immediate problem with any movie that puts a muzzle on my boy Nick Cage. You know what I'm saying? You don't muzzle the cage, dude. You don't do it. You gotta give him his voice. You gotta let him run free. They can afford to pay him to talk. That's a good point. Even though he's got an Oscar minimum, right? They still gotta pay the Oscar minimum even if he doesn't have lines. Yeah, there's something about that dude that I'm so glad they can never take away from him. Dude has a Best Actor Oscar. Oh my gosh, is this thing gonna disappear? Should I not be on top of it for the last cleaning? Oh man. Maybe I should do a double feature. Maybe I should watch Five Nights at Freddy's and Willy's Wonderland. Make it a... Five Nights at Freddy's and rip off Five Nights at Freddy's double feature. Now we're at the what the hell is missing point. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, also, I don't know if anyone here watches the Blockbuster review, but I redid the Saltburn review, so that'll be out on Friday. If people wanted to hear my opinion on that film. Kind of bummed that the first one, the audio just disappeared on me. I do believe that that movie is good in all of the, not controversy, but everything that people are talking about it kind of takes away from its goodness in some ways. Because it's not just the shocking scenes that will make some people a little uncomfortable. There's a little bit more to that movie that I think is getting overlooked. Because people are still weirded out by what some folks like to put their wiener into. What time is it? Oh my gosh. I thought it was much later. Son of a bitch. Spiky. Okay. Oh, I think this is going to be a bit of a bitch. No, 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 son of a bitch. Am I to believe he lives with a family of 4 in this section of the train? He just time travels with it. He doesn't actually live in it too much with the kids because it seems like a cramped space. Nooks and the crannies on this piece of shit. It can't just be a normal box. It's got to be this ornate piece of shit with all these little tiny nooks and crannies and bullshit. Alright. Cleaning up that cab. I learned what nooks and crannies are from Waffle Crisp cereal commercial. I learned to appreciate nooks and crannies from playing this game. The nooks and the crannies. The nooks and the crannies. $99%. Gosh, these smokestacks are like way too big. Run board. Wonder if they're gonna do a Lord of the Rings pack where you just clean up like all of Rivendell. All while elves sit in silent judgment of you the entire time you try to clean. That is clean. All right. Steam chest pipes. Signal lamps. Really? I'll tell you why. It needed to... What's the word? It needed to resemble a car just enough. It couldn't just be a locomotive. It has to also look like a car in some ways. I don't know why. I'm not the guy who made the decisions. I get off? No. Where's the other flux band? Oh, you son of a bitch. Gosh darn it. Does anybody know where this thing is not frickin' clean? There we go. Son of a bitch. What? Reactor car heat exchanger straps. Oh, you gotta be. Ugh. No stuff. There we go. Reactor car flux boxes. I missed one of the front wheels. Oh, you've got to be joking. Car door hinges? Are you fucking around? Drive wheels. Where to drive? Where the drive wheels at? Electrical system brackets. Oh, shit. Yeah, buddy. And then it turns around. Oh, shit. It's got an ass on her. Oh, fuck. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Another outstanding job, thank you, I'll admit. I was skeptical that such a thing as a power washer could be good for us. You've been terrific through the production of all 3 films. I'll put it away for you. Who knows? You may be more production in contact with you one day. Thanks. And that's it. Only 5 thingies. You know, not the best, not the worst. I was, just happy to clean some of that shit. What is... Oh, I mean, there is nothing to continue. Why would I continue the campaign? Did the seasonal special. We got Tomb Raider. We got Midgar, which I believe is Final Fantasy VII shit. Need to clean the school. Oh, from Back to the Future? It was dirty. It was super freaking dirty, man. I remember that school. That school was rough. But that school has also been like 1,000 Hollywood schools, right? I think the exterior of that place has been used for like just a ton of movies. Gonna clean the fountain. First off, let's change something. I'm tired of. There we go. This one is big and repetitive. It sure looks like it. Oh, don't worry, I wasn't worried because I'm just the PowerWash guy. I'm not going to get involved in any of your tomb raiding or violence. I'm here to clean your fucking house. I figured I would just do this one until we hit about 9 o'clock my time. It's been a pretty chill, you know, stream. You know, talking movies. Like, I haven't seen the Tomb Raider movies. I know they did decently well. They had a sequel get made, right? They had a theme park ride. They don't just give those to anybody. what am I doing? Like, no wonder it's not working the way I want it to. I'm not even using the right nozzle. Like a dumbass. This does feel like a level that would be good for, like, co-op. Where you have, you know, even if you both take on the same section at different sides, or someone starts on the house on one side, you start on the other, and you meet in the middle, or meet at the fountain. But this is a good level for, like, the slow meditation of it all. Where you just massage your brain with the sounds of power washing. And the slow, incremental success of cleaning up somebody's house. And I'll just be the first one to say it, this fountain is way too fucking big. Like, really? Fountain is fucking huge. Like, what the fuck? Oh, man. Is there... Hold on. I probably already screwed it up. Is there a achievement for the Tomb Raider one? Oh, no. Because it's all... Watch the time machine reappear. I don't know how to do that one. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to get in there, huh? You... This fucking... fountain is ridiculous. And unbelievably dirty. Was this whole house under the sea at some point? There we go. Inner wall is a little clean. What the hell is this thing? Oh my gosh, do I have to get on top of that fucking thing? Can I clean enough of the rest of the statue? That won't be necessary. My goal is to get this freaking fountain statue finished. And then it will be, I will consider it a successful I'm gonna have to get on top of that fucking statue, aren't I? You son of a bitch. Oh, this fish has got some fucked up eyes. This fish has been up all night doing coke. Look at his eyes, dude. This fish has a crack cocaine problem. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Clean up this tweaker fish. Son of a bitch. Just for that. Just for that. The pedestal is the whole thing. We don't have a pedestal top and then pedestal sides. Are you frickin' joking me? Shadow didn't lie about the level. It is big and it is repetitive. Goodness gracious. Starting to get the swamp ass. Pretty sure that's too much information, but it is the truth. Pedestal cleaned. Just cuts through it, dude. It's like this attachment is basically cheating. I don't... No offense, dude, but I was just hired for the job of cleaning up this place. I don't really give a shit about your master or what's going on. And really, I'll do a much better job if you just let me do the work. Ooh, so she'll curse at me with exciting words. That's supposed to be a punishment I fear. finish this whole fountain by 10. Oh, which is fine. How much are you getting paid for this fountain? 25 bucks? Probably. But it's not the money. It's the sense of accomplishment. Holy shit. There we go. Fountains should be self-cleaning. It's a good point. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. I don't understand how this fountain could get this dirty. That's the thing I don't get. Like, the ground around it is not that dirty. The house is dirty as hell, but the bushes aren't that dirty. The walls are not dirty. Mr. Croft and her friends did some dirty, dirty things to it. I mean, jeez. I mean... Did they spray liquefied dirt on everything? Also known as mud. Did they just spray mud all over it? They have a huge, like, bonfire just on the fountain. Oh. How is there this much dirt on this fucking wall? There we go. Now we're gonna get done with this frickin' fountain. Yes, mud in quotation marks. What, so they're shitting in it? There we go. Fountain clean. Alrighty. Well, thank you, Shadow and Felix and Past Tense and anybody who was maybe in the background. I appreciate it. Hope you have a good rest of your week. I will be back Sunday morning for Baldur's Gate, hopefully with Kiwi. I always ask her a couple of days ahead of time just to make sure that she is not busy with something else, but that's what I plan to do. More Baldur's Gate this Sunday. If not, I have an alternative. But Sunday at 9 a.m., back Monday night at 7 p.m. with the movie The Jackals with Vinnie Price. And next week, next Wednesday, starting West of Loathing in celebration of Clip Clap's birthday. They requested West of Loathing. No idea what it's like, but that's what we're gonna pay. We're gonna play. Now, according to this list right here, one of the outer walls is not clean. Which fucking outer wall is not clean? I'm not leaving here with an outer wall not clean. There we go. Now we're good. All right. Have a good one, everybody. Peace.